So let's talk about Donald Trump. What if his next big move wasn't just another unpredictable tweet? What if it was a calculated plan to completely dismantle a 70-year-old alliance, all to pave the way for a brand new war? Well, a high-level insider who worked right alongside him says that's exactly what's coming.
So that's the big question, right? What is the next unpredictable move? It's a question that could, quite literally, redefine the entire global order.
And look, this isn't just some random theory floating around online. It's a specific, pretty explosive prediction, and it's coming from someone who is actually in the room where these kinds of huge decisions were being made. All right, so let's dig in. Who exactly is this insider, and what is this wild forecast that is everyone talking?
The man at the very center of this firestorm is Joe Kent. And to really get what he's predicting, you first have to understand who he is and where he's coming from.
Now you gotta understand, Joe Kent wasn't just some low-level staffer. No, he was a senior Trump appointee advising on counterterrorism. I mean, he was in the inner circle. But he really hit the headlines when he resigned, protesting what he saw as an unnecessary push for war with Iran. His resignation tweet just blew up, and he basically became a major voice in foreign policy overnight.
And just recently, Kent dropped this absolute bombshell. He's claiming the US will leave NATO. But the reason why, that's the truly shocking part. He says it's not about avoiding foreign wars, it's about getting ready for a new one, siding with Israel in a future conflict against Turkey. And this is really the key to the whole thing. Kent argues this isn't about Trump being mad that allies aren't paying their fair share. He claims it's a cold, calculated chessboard move, designed specifically to clear the board for a major new conflict in the Middle East.
So, according to Kent, the plan is actually pretty simple, and it unfolds in 3 big steps. Step 1. The US just up and leaves NATO, its oldest military alliance. Step 2. That move completely shatters the alliance's foundation. And then, Step 3, with NATO's defense pact out of the picture, the US and Israel are free to launch a joint military operation against Turkey. It sounds crazy, I know, but there's a chilling logic to it.
But why? I mean, why would anyone want to just tear up a 70-year-old alliance? To understand the strategy, you have to understand the one huge obstacle that's currently standing in the way.
Let's really think about this for a second. What's the one thing that stops the US from even thinking about a military strike on Turkey right now? The answer is buried right at the heart of the NATO alliance itself. And that answer is Article 5. This thing is the absolute cornerstone of NATO. It's the Mutual Defense Clause, and it says in no uncertain terms that an attack on one member is an attack on all of them, including, of course, the United States. So here's the strategic problem, the real dilemma. As long as the US and Turkey are both in NATO, they are allies. Because of Article 5, an attack on Turkey would be considered an attack on the US itself, which is, strategically impossible. But if the US leaves NATO, that entire obligation just vanishes. The main obstacle is gone, and the path is cleared for the exact war that Kent is predicting. Now, as you can probably guess, a prediction this explosive, coming from a former insider, well, it did not go unnoticed. And when it went viral, it got a direct and furious response from the man himself.
And Trump's reaction, it wasn't your standard political denial. Oh no, he went on social media and just unleashed a series of super furious, really personal attacks. They weren't just designed to deny the claim, but to completely destroy the character of the person making it. I mean, he called Kent a sleazebag, a major leaker, and a loser. He even attacked his intelligence, claiming his IQ is very low. This wasn't about debating foreign policy, it was a full-on character assassination.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any more personal, it did. Trump brought up the tragic death of Kent's wife, a U.S. Air Force service member, and then criticized him for remarrying quite quickly. He said he only hired Kent out of pity, and then painted this whole prediction as an act of personal disloyalty. The intensity of this response is, well, it's really remarkable.
Okay, so that kind of intense response definitely raises the stakes. But let's step back from all the political drama for a second. Why does this high-level feud actually matter? I mean, how could a potential conflict thousands of miles away really impact your life?
You should know, this isn't just some fringe theory anymore. According to actual reports, European leaders are already quietly making contingency plans for what they're calling a NATO minus US scenario. Just think about that for a second. For the first time in decades, our oldest allies are seriously planning for a future where the US might not have their back.
But okay, let's bring it even closer to home. Why should you, personally, care about a potential conflict between the US, Israel, and Turkey? Because, frankly, we've already seen how this playbook works.
We've seen this exact ripple effect before. Think about the recent tensions with Iran. Global stock markets took a nosedive. Oil prices spiked, and you definitely felt that every time you filled up your car. The cost of everyday goods went up. Geopolitics isn't some abstract headline. It has a direct impact on your wallet.
So that leaves us with one final massive question. Is Joe Kent's prediction just an outlandish theory from a disgruntled former employee? Or, when you look at all the pieces, the logic, the players, and that incredibly furious reaction, are we actually witnessing the first tremors of a geopolitical earthquake that could reshape the world as we know it?
If you value clarity over chaos, explore more on Clear Lens X.